Hi, welcome. My name is Mohit, and in this video, I'm going to show you how we can make a data science multi-agent system using Google Agent Development Kit. This video is broken into three sections. In the beginning, I will show you the introduction to the whole framework, and then I will show you the code that is used to build on this framework. And then in the end, I will show you the agents functioning, in which we will ask queries to the agents and they will answer data science questions. To visualize the complexity associated with multi-agent systems, it's helpful to look at the evolution of AI and AI agents. In the beginning, we had only LLMs that we could speak with, and gradually we added more complexity, such so that the LLMs could refer to some documents and extract information uh, for us, or they could refer to that information while answering the user queries. And then we added more tools to the system so that we could also enable actions. And then we added reasoning to the whole system so that it could reason, so that it could try several steps until it reaches the answer and then returns uh, the final answer to the user. And then this becomes the AI agent. And multi-agent systems are a collaboration of these AI agents. This is how one agent works. When the end user sends a query, then there are generative models inside the agent. They can be one, they can be many, that can be used to reason over goals, determine a plan, and generate a response. And there's an orchestration layer that is essentially the brain of the agent. And this layer determines the profile of the agent, the goals, instructions, the memory, etc. And then there are tools within the agent that are used to fetch information from databases, use APIs to talk to external sources. This is the architecture of the system that we are going to be looking at. At the top level, we have a data science root agent that has access to several tools, which is shown by this symbol. So we can call analytics agent, we can call a BigQuery agent, and we can call AlloyDB agent. These two are database tools. So we use them to ask queries in natural language, and they convert that into SQL and return the answer to the user in natural language. The data returned by these two database agents can be used by the analytics agent to conduct conduct an exploratory data analysis. It can write Python code, it can generate plots, and once an exploratory data analysis is done, the root agent can use the exploratory data analysis to invoke the BQML agent that can autonomously train a machine learning model using the information that we generated previously. Now we are in the repository of the multi-agent system. Here, this is the whole code, and the code that we want to look at in this video is located into the data science directory. And within this directory, we have three files: agent.py, prompts.py, and tools.py. This agent.py file contains the root agent, and all the sub-agents are located in the sub-agents directory. For example, you can see this is BigQuery, this is analytics, and this is AlloyDB. In this video, I'm going to talk about this agents.py file, the tools.py file, the prompts.py file, and the analytics sub-agent. So let's begin with agent.py file. Okay, now we are inside the agent.py file that dictates this data science root agent, and the agent logic lives at the end of the file. Here we can see this function defines the root agent. Here we have a tool called analytics agent that we see here, and then there are two additions for the database agents. And here we define the the LLM of the agent. Um, for the LLMs, we use the Gemini 2.5 Flash model by default, but there are other models that are supported by this application. We specify the name of the agent. Okay, then we specify the instructions for this agent. So this part of the instructions code is specific to this root agent, whereas there are global instructions as well. And these global instructions apply to all the agents within the system. For example, this global instruction says you are a data science and data analytics multi-agent system, and it passes the current date as well to every agent, so that they know they are talking about the same date. And then we enable the sub agents and the tools, and we also enable the database access to this root agent so that it has access to the data. Now we are in the tools.py file that is corresponding to this root agent. And within this file, we have three functions. One is called byquery agent. The other one is called AlloyDB agent. The third one is called analytics agent. This analytics agent, we are defining what it can do. It can create graphics, it can filter datasets, and it can combine datasets. But what it cannot do is that it cannot retrieve additional data from a database. So once the data has been retrieved already in earlier steps, it can analyze only that data. All right, now we are in the prompts.py file that governs what this agent does and how it behaves. And within this file, we can see that it has been instructed to be a senior data scientist that has been tasked to accurately classify users' intent regarding a specific database and formulate specific questions. So this is a supervisor agent whose task is to understand what the user wants and to translate that to sub agents effectively. There are several other details in the prompt. I will not go into that, but for now, let's look at the sub agents, the analytics sub agent. Within analytics subagent, we have two files, agent.py file and prompts.py file. Within agent.py file, there's a small piece of code that invokes the agent and it invokes the Vertex AI code executor. Remember, this analytics agent can write Python code and it can generate graphs. To do that, it runs in a Colab, it runs in a Jupyter Notebook environment. And that's why within that Jupyter Notebook environment, we need to run the code, and sometimes we need to run it multiple times. So that's why there is a Vertex AI code executor environment created for this agent. And within the prompts for this analytics agent, it has been specified that the task of the agent is to help the user achieve their data analysis goals within the context of a Python Colab notebook. And it has been told to always include code in its responses so that so that the answers that it generates are trustworthy. And it has been instructed to be mindful of the fact that there are several libraries that are already imported, and it should not import them again. Okay, so this was a brief overview of the data science root agent and the analytics sub-agent. The BQML agent is complex, and I will leave that for later. But for now, we can see how we can run this code. So we can run this code through terminal. So in my case, I ran uv run adk web command, which took me to the web interface in which I could ask the agent questions. I asked several questions to this system, and in the beginning I asked, what data do you have? And it told me that it has access to a BigQuery dataset called forecasting sticker sales. And within this dataset, there are two tables called train and test. And this is what is contained in this dataset. And this dataset is from a Kaggle Playground series challenge. And then I asked, what countries exist in my train table? So it called the BigQuery agent, but there was an error. So it did not return my answer. Um, and then I had to just call it again. I asked what countries exist in my table, and it returned the countries, the list of countries that exist in the dataset, and also explained how it got this data. So it queried the train table in this dataset to retrieve all the distinct countries, which is what we asked. And then I asked the same question again because I wanted to see if the error that occurred here, if it occurs again, but it did not. And then it said, as I mentioned before, these are the countries. So it remembered the previous conversation as well. And then I asked generate a plot with total sales per country, and then it invoked the BigQuery agent. It finished functioning, and then it called the analytics agent, which generated this plot. And then analytics agent finished its work, and we can see that with this tick mark. And as a result, it said it has generated a bar plot showing total sales for each country, and it also explains how it got that. Once we have this, okay, so assuming that by now we have done exploratory data analysis and now we want to move to model training phase, now we can use the BQML agent. So here I asked, I want to train a forecasting model using BQML. And after this query, the supervisor agent, the root agent, transferred the query to the BQML agent, which accessed the data and returned this response in which it says it can generate the BQML code to train a forecasting model. And this code will create a time series model using the ARIMA plus model type. So this is what it recommends, and it explains how it will function, um, which data will be used. In the end, it returns this BQML code that we can review, and it will not function unless I type here approve. And once I approve this, this is going to run on Google Cloud. So I'm not going to run it right now. But if we want to run this, this might take some time and it will cost cloud compute credits as well. So I will leave this for later. Okay, so this was a conversation I had with the agent. But on the side, we also have an interface through which we can inspect what is happening below the hood within this multi-agent system. For example, in the beginning, we asked this question, what data do you have? And then if we look at the specific event, let's say this is the trace, the question that we asked, and here we can see how much time was used to invoke the agent and how much time was used to call the LLM. And if we go into events and we go into a specific thread, this one, for example, here it shows that it used 2,700 tokens for this query. And then it returned this response at this given time. This is in GPS seconds, I'm assuming. Let's go back to the event. If we look at the last question that we asked, this was when we asked if it can help with generating a machine learning model, training a machine learning model. And here we can see that it used 9,700 tokens. for this response. Okay, so that was the events tab. And if we go into other tabs, for example, state or artifacts, you can see that the plot that we generated here is stored in the artifacts tab. So we don't have to actually manually download this one in particular, and everything is saved here quite clean, in a clean manner. Okay, now that we have been through the conversation with the agent and the interface of the ADK web server, I want to show you one thing before I close this. So here, let's say I have this, the agent generated this response and it says, do you want to approve for this code execution, or what do you want to do? And here, let's say I want to remove product from selection. So let's see what it does if I ask it to remove it. And there it is. It removed product from selection. And now I can, if I approve this code and I say yes, then it is going to send it to the to Google Cloud and train this model. And I've not been beyond this step yet, so I can't say what comes next. But if you want to, if you're interested in this, stay tuned for the next few videos, and I will, as I learn more about the system, I'm going to try training a model as well at some point. To close it up, I would say this is a very promising example. Uh, in fact, it's an example from the Google development team, and I took it and I configured my laptop to run this, installed everything, and then I set up Google Cloud as well, so that I could run, I could access the databases, and I could train the model in Google Cloud if I needed to. I'm not doing that for now, but I will look into it in the future. But for now, I think it's a promising multi-agent system that can be expanded upon, and that's a good place to start if you want to learn AI agent development for autonomous systems. And at least I want to learn, and that's why I'm doing this. All right, this is it for the video, and I will close it here. See you next time.